Well, welcome back to the channel with Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Gosford, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for coming on, giving your time to what I have to say about evil, dark and light, and personality disorders and everything that comes after us these days. Last lesson we learnt that you can level the fortress of the narcissist and destroy the trust that they have in the way in which they're living. You can turn a narcissist in on himself or herself. The wise conquer the city of the narcissist, the strong city of the fool, and level the fortress in which they trust. You can level a narcissist with the wisdom that you have about it. You can see them coming. You can see them manifesting. I've watched several narcissistic psychological collapses over the duration in which it's taken for it to finally culminate in people. But the next passage is, watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. One of the number one things a narcissist wants to do is gather information about you. The more information they can get, the more they can mirror you, the more they can infiltrate into who you are and what you believe. They'll mirror you, they'll replicate you, and they'll get you to go deeper into your commitment with them. And the more you say for instance, you come into a new relationship and the family members around and you're telling them all about your emotional incestual situation. I can almost promise you, guess what? Emotional incest will manifest in that group if there's personality disorders. They will use what you say that's negatively happened to you, the trouble that you've had, right? And they'll reoccur it by the knowledge they gain from what you say about what's happened to you, about the trouble you've had. If you want to stay out of trouble, you keep your mouth shut. You watch what you say. You'll see this in the workplace, you'll see this in your relationships, new relationships. As they start to disintegrate, what do the people use against you? The information that they have from inside you about the troubles that you've had, and they work on your weak spots. They work where it's abrasive for you. They become mockers, proud and haughty, and they act with boundless arrogance. There's no boundary to their arrogance and their haughtiness and pride and mockery. The people that you thought you were going to be able to build a relationship with in some cases, use what you have said about the troubles that you've had to mock you, to overtake you with pride, that's manipulate and control you, to become haughty, that could be making fun of you, sarcasm and antagonism, and they act with no boundaries at all, just complete arrogance to how you feel. They get you psychologically into trouble. They wear you down psychologically. They devalue you. Does that ring a bell? Devalue, the devalue stage. The narcissist love bombs, devalues, and then discards or causes a reverse discard, whatever's convenient for them. And they'll mock you in the spirit. This can happen through triangulation. This can happen through just not answering texts, not answering your calls, not turning up, neglecting you in the relationship. And they'll lie. and they'll think it's all a joke. You know how you see some people and they've just always got this grin and this smile? No. You've got to be careful. It's like a shark. Sharks grin. Great white sharks grin. And when they grin, that's when they're getting stirred up. Now, I don't know if there's any relationship to that with humans, but when somebody's mocking you, and they're just being proud, standing over you, and they're just jeering and making fun of you, if they're standing there with a smile, with a grin, while all this is happening, you are dealing with someone with some serious personality disorders. They got no boundaries. First sign of narcissism, no boundaries. Can't have boundaries because that then causes a call for order. And they'll stand there in defiance and arrogance of boundaries. They will not act in a way in which boundaries are going to help produce resolve. They keep mocking. They stay in their grandiose opinion of themselves. But the grandiose gap between what they really are and what they think they are is incredible. Absolutely incredible, because they stray from common sense and end up in the company of fools like themselves. But they go back to their mockery. They mock their relationships. They talk about their partners behind their backs. They lie, cheat, steal from them, let them down, leave them alone, all alone, take their energy and psychological strength and use it as waste. They think of themselves more highly than what they really are, and when you get down to the bottom of it, it's just, you're not what you think you are. And they think it's all just a big joke. This is how these personality disorders run these people down and ruin all the people around them. But if you, one of the big clues, keep your mouth shut about the trouble that you've had in your life, you weaken the mocker and the proud and the haughty. You're not giving them any psychological data on what troubles you. And therefore, they can act however they like. They are not going to penetrate places that they don't know anything about. I know this by experience. I know friends that have boasted about their motorbikes, beautiful Harley Davidsons, and the next day or two, it's gone. Where'd that go? Well, let me guess. How many people did you tell? How many people did you show? Start with them. Watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut. Keep your private business close to your chest with strangers and people that you meet, and you'll stay out of trouble. This is, look, come on, girls, if you're watching this, you know, or you should know this stuff from being around me. You should know this stuff without me. You should do the work. And for those of you that have come in to watch and learn, keep your mouth shut. Watch your tongue. Don't spill your private business just anywhere. No, because you'll stay out of trouble if you don't. Most of the trouble that we have comes from the people that are closest to us. And they'll mock you behind your back. They'll think they're wonderful for doing it, And they'll get this sensation that'll lead them into doing it again and again and again. Because arrogance has got a way of making a person stray from common sense. And ultimately they end up in the company of the dead. And that's not where you want to end up, because of somebody else's boundless arrogance, somebody else's lack of boundaries within their psychological formation to protect them from themselves. Boundless arrogance speaks of a person that's without control, without restraint on what their emotions and psychology is leading them into, be it positive or negative. And in this part, I'd say it's negative. A mocker, proud and haughty person is arrogant. They're fueled by their arrogance, the arrogance of themselves. And there's no boundaries associated with these people. They act on their emotions. They're misled by their emotions. They're misled by their immature idealisms of what they think is right, when really they've just strayed from common sense. There's no sense in anything that these people do, only to themselves, because they're arrogant and they don't have boundaries. Now, where there's no boundaries, there's always unresolved. Always guaranteed to be unresolved where there's no boundaries. So, watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.